It's about the restoration of our republic. We want to educate, encourage, enable the power. We stand for integrity, honesty, self-reliance, self-defense, and most importantly, no compromise on our foundational principles. This is America's Voice Now.
Find America's Voice Now on Facebook and at americasvoicenow.org. Here's Michael Evans.
All right. So, the New World Keystone Kops, they're showing us their Mo Lowry and Curly moves. Whoop, 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 whoop. Why, certainly, Mo, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The New World Order. The lords, the ladies, the dukes, the duchesses of the New World Order. The royalty. We know what's best for you. You don't smell that lie? Like the stench of death and corruption? Half a million people are racing from Mosul into Crete, running away. Because, frankly, the Islamics who are pouring into the cities, taking them over, instituting extraordinarily strict, dictatorial, totalitarian Sharia. It's not a religion. It's a political ideology. Now, it's veiled by religious words and sounds, but it's really all about oppression. It's all about power. You'll pray or we'll kill you. What God believes in that? I don't care what other religion you believe in. I don't care if you believe in no religion. No God would sit and say, pray to me or die. Certainly not any God that would be worth worshiping. That's not a God that I want to participate with. That's not a God I want to look up at. That's not a God. That's a tormentor. What God would say, if someone refuses to pray to me, slice their throat open. What God would say that? None that I can think of. None that I want to certainly be associated with. But the Caliphate grows. Syria, Iraq. For what? Domination. They even use the word domination. The Muslim goal is world domination. As they enter these cities, they warn the women, do not leave your homes for purposes of modesty. What? How are they supposed to go and get a goat for dinner? How are they supposed to do the laundry? It's all a sham. It's all hypocrisy. You do this, but I don't have to. You do that, but don't look at me. Don't drink, but I can. Don't be gay, but I like little boys. They don't even rape their daughters. They rape their sons. This ain't me saying this, folks. Hey. They sew their women shut to represent that body part more closely. And they mutilate them so that they can never feel sexual pleasure, to keep them from wandering. Sickness. Who can justify that? Who can rationalize that? These stupid, foolish buffoons in the West. They have no concept, no clue. They have no idea how these people think. And they constantly make the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. They miscalculate because they think with a Western mind and think, well, because we think with a Western mind, everybody else does too. There's no rational thought process to this kind of evil, criminality, disdain for life. But they go to pretend. Well, if we make this common sense suggestion, I mean, we need common sense reform. Their idea of common sense reform is, should we sharpen the knife before we slit this idiot's throat or not? I mean, if we don't sharpen it, we're going to have to saw back and forth a few times, and it's going to hurt him a little bit more. And he'll be in terror for a few more seconds. Let's send him off to the shaitan that way. You pathetic, stupid, foolish huckster. You've huckstered yourselves and all the rest of us. Buffoons, stupid fools, arrogance, hubris, self-importance. Either way you look at it, these people who, in our government and in the Western world, and I'm talking about all of Europe and all the rest of them, either they are malfeasant in the sense that they are incompetent and inept, or it's willful and intentional, which is an act of treason against their own nations, against their own sworn oaths, against the people who they owe a fiduciary responsibility to, irrespective of what country they're from. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why the world is generally pissed off. Don't you see it? The Western world is angry with our leadership because we're tired of being betrayed, either by ineptitude or criminality. And either way, the end result is betrayal, so we don't really care from whence it came. We're just sick and tired of the Keystone Kops leaving us holding the bill, holding the blood, while they waltz off to another caviar party in a tuxedo. The headline at the National Journal is, Congress's Iraq vets helplessly watch their gains lost. What was the point of all that? Asked Congressman Perry. Well, I don't mean to denigrate anything from these three men's individual service. But I've got to ask you, the insult of that headline is as if I should care more about what Congress's Iraq vets think than the non-congressional Iraq vets. Yes, these same ones who have been begging for a medical appointment. Ask me if I give a hang about the Keystone Kops in Congress and whether or not they feel as if their gains were lost. What gains? No one won. We killed millions. Millions. For what? We're going to free the crap out of you. What kind of freedom is that? It's no different than the freedom offered by ISIS, the Taliban, al-qaeda. Capitulate or die. Bow down and pray or die. Our argument is what? Salute or die? The hell do we think we are? Who do you think you are? It just goes to show you, it wasn't about selling them democracy. Because the foolishness of that entire argument is exposed before you finish expounding upon it. You can't free people by blowing them up. Unbelievable. Americans are smart enough to see it. I know you stand there like this, trying desperately not to admit I know you don't want to take the blinders off. Because it means you got to do something about it. You can't just stand there now. You see how close the train is. Can't just stand there in the face of betrayal from your own nation, your own alleged leaders. Three congressmen on the Hill are deeply concerned. Right now, I wonder what it was all about, he says. What was the point of all that? Well, I don't know, but you're living in Congress at $180,000 a year. And I'm far more worried about the 65,000 wounded who are rolling around in wheelchairs, unable to find a job, living homelessly, sitting there right now playing Russian roulette with a pistol or a shotgun in their mouth because they can't get medical help. They can't find a job. Their country's betrayed them. They smell it, see it, and taste it. They can't wipe the rape oil, the snake oil, off their skin no matter how many showers they take. I'm a little bit more concerned about them right at the moment. Your feelings are secondary. You're going home to your fancy house. Steve, he's going to go home, and he's lucky if he's got a trailer. No, the bathroom doesn't work right. And he can't really get a job because this stinking metal foot just can't drive a truck no more. It's on disability for what? A measly $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month. His gross domestic product to try to feed his family and take care of his kids is what? $18,000 a year. And you're sitting there in a Georgetown condo that's got $18,000 a month in taxes. And you're being taken out to dinner 3 out of 5 nights a week by some lobbyist who has no problem dropping, what, $600, $800 on fine wine, cigars, a beautiful T-bone. Steve, he's back there trying to figure out whether it's going to be peanut butter and jelly tonight or a bowl of cereal. And he's got this problem, this hacking cough he just can't get rid of because he was sitting there in that flat desert sandbox, that cat box, that litter box, and breathing in all that smoke. You know, that oil smoke. But, you know, you've been to Bethesda. And the doctors have taken such good care. And he's still waiting for a call back from the VA. Now, he signed up, you know, I think it was, as I recall, 2010. It's only been 3 years. Maybe 4. And the cough is getting worse. So forgive us, Congressman, if we're really not all that concerned about your feelings about Iraq and the wasted lives and the wasted effort and the wasted wounds and the wasted maimings and the wasted minds while you sold democracy. Buy this or else. See, the real problem here is that when you got to Congress, you forgot. When you got to Congress, you stripped off that beautiful thing called honor. And you took off that thing called integrity. And you threw away those gowns, those shields, and you became a player. You allowed the wine to go to your head at dinner. And the lobbyist made so much sense. And your colleague said, listen, unless you vote this way, we can't support your bill. And you're so desperate to get that bill passed because, after all, you really want to honor somebody back home with naming a post office after them. And the sum total of your legislative drive has been to support your friends across the aisle. And we're starving, and we're hungry, and we're desperate, and we're broke. Our country's in a shambles. And the National Journal tells us we should worry about your reaction. I think I can do without the propaganda for today. I think I can make my own choices. I trust people to know what's in their own best interest. I trust people who don't have a motive of corruption and dishonor to be allied to the truth. And your judgment is hampered, skewed, twisted, false, manipulated. You're listening to America's Voice now. You can communicate with me directly at Mike at America's Voice now. We'll be right back.